So the App Center is a place where Adapt TV platform users can find technologies from lots of different vendors, all integrated nicely and under one roof. And the basic motivation for this is that we believe that digital video should combine really the best of television and the best of online advertising in general. Those are its two parents, and you should get something better than all of that when you have digital video, right? You should get a creative format that is sight, sound, and motion like television, but is also interactive like online advertising. You should be able to do very precise targeting, which you can't do in television because you're online and you have cookies, and you should be able to do that. You should be able to do very precise measurement, not just of sort of which audiences you hit, but also how they responded and who responded and all this kind of stuff. But in order to do that today, with the complexity of our industry, it's very, very difficult operationally. It requires a lot of work and a lot of coordination. So we're running many, many campaigns. We're running thousands of campaigns simultaneously through the Adapt TV marketplace today, and we've had firsthand experience of how complicated it is to execute a best-in-class digital video campaign that really fulfills this vision of how great digital video should be. You're pulling together, targeting from one vendor and an ad format from another vendor and measurement from another vendor and maybe like compliance with privacy from another vendor, and you're trying to put it all together. And if you're a media buyer trying to do this on your own without any technology, you are going to be making a lot of emails and phone calls and signing terms and contracts and logging into different consoles and all this complexity, which takes time. And this is why people love to point at the Luma slide and say, oh God, isn't this terrible? Well, it turns out, I guess, one of the predictions about the Luma slide for a long time was that it's all going to be consolidated, right? We're all going to kind of combine down this into a much simpler set of players, and they're all going to be sort of vertically integrated. And we don't see that happening anytime soon. It hasn't happened so far. And we found another solution to that problem, which is to open up APIs and make it more seamless for those vendors to connect into our platform and for buyers to use those vendors from within our platform. It allows, first of all, you to browse and view a whole long list of vendors that you can use from within the Adapt TV platform. So if you're going to use the platform to buy and traffic a campaign, you are going to want to use technologies from these different vendors. So we have an App Center tab in our console, and you go in there and you can see under rich media providers or ad format providers, you can see Innovid and others. Under audience targeting providers, you can see folks like Blue Kai and Exalate and Quantcast and so on. And there are many more different categories of vendors that we support, and we're adding them all the time. And then when you're in the process of actually buying media or trafficking an ad, the functionality from that vendor becomes available in a seamless way. So one of the demos that we did on launching the platform, because I think it's so compelling, is we showed how you can, in the process of buying media and trafficking an ad, you can actually choose Innovid, iRoll as the creative format, and then you can configure that iRoll directly from within the Adapt TV trafficking workflow. So you don't have to stop after you've chosen your sites and your targeting, log out, log into the Innovid iRoll Studio, configure it, and come back. You do it all in one seamless workflow. And that's because of APIs, because we've been able to take their functionality and bundle it and integrate it nicely into ours. So online video display is also complex. So this is an idea that also has legs in display. But in video, I think the needs are slightly different. But the complexity is that you care very deeply about the format. You care very deeply about the audience, and you need tools to help you target and find that audience. You care very deeply about the measurement. And these are just some of the categories, but in order to run a display campaign, for example, you don't need necessarily to be as focused on the unified measurement that you need, for example, in television. If we want our customers to truly use us to run their businesses, then we need to provide them with all of the capabilities that they need. So it's just, there's another way to do it, which is the brute force way, in which case you have to go and do lots and lots of one-off integrations, and it just doesn't scale well. So this is the right solution for the problem. The other thing that I would say is that The reason we feel the demand for this is because customers have started to run their business on our platform. We're not just a media source for a buyer, or we're not just a source of revenue from a publisher. We're the tool that publisher is using to run their monetization, their ad business. And for the buyer, we're the tool that they're using to execute their campaigns, running across many, many different media sources. And when you've chosen a platform as your tool, then you really need it to make sure that it supports all of the kind of vendors you want to work with and all the functionality that you have. And that's exactly the case with your mobile phone, or hopefully in the near future your television, or even your Facebook account.